$556 USD, this 240mm Kiritsuke is the most expensive knife on the Oishya website. Yes, it's true. I like the finer things in life, so I was thrilled when Oishya said they'd send me this knife to test and review. I like nice stuff, and today we'll find out if it's only nice stuff or if it's nice, sharp stuff. In terms of the unboxing, this is definitely one of the nicer carry boxes I've ever seen. I love how sleek it is. The finger tab on the top lid is super low profile and practical. Truthfully, I have always been obsessed with Oishya's logo as well. Clean, simple, and very Japanese. The kind of logo I wish I thought of. The box sleeve looks professional and is a nice add-on with a pop of color for contrast. The box itself appeared quite dry, but check it out. I rehydrated it after the video was shot. During the unboxing, one thing struck me as odd right away. Why can I hear what sounds like the knife moving, clanking inside the carry box? That is never a sound you want to hear. Let's have a look. Alright, there it is. No frills, boom, you get the knife right away. It isn't sitting on the usual felt liner or the blade isn't cushioned in a blade guard. Just the whole thing right there. More on this at the end of the video. Immediately, it is clear to me how good looking of a knife this is. By the way, these are handmade, not factory made like I see posted on the internet. Included in the box is also on nice thick cardstock, a certificate of authenticity stamped with a Japanese Hanko stamp and a 5 yen Japanese coin, a symbol of promoting good relations. Now, the Seki Kyuba SHIN line has knives with a core steel of R2 wrapped in 31 layers of stainless damascus. Speaking of stainless, R2/SG2 is a high-speed, high-quality powdered stainless steel with a HRC of 63 to 64 and will hold an edge for a very long time. In terms of the handle, all of Oishya's offerings come with some really cool color handle choices. I personally asked for the olive green to channel my Mediterranean side. The handle is made of bog oak, copper, and dyed olive green European maple burl. Of course, it goes without saying that what you are looking at is a 240mm Kiritsuke. This knife appears to be super thin based on the choil, but we all know the choil doesn't tell the whole story. I was told by the company the smith sharpened the edge to 400-500 grit, and I'm assuming, based on the out-of-box edge, that the secondary bevel was not fully established. I couldn't quite pierce the skin of a cherry tomato without applying a lot of force or relying on gravity to do the job for me. Before establishing a new edge, I did want to give it a try on meat, given how long and slender the knife is. Right away, I got a whole slab of pork tenderloin and, of course, I went to town. Now we're talking. That was a lot of fun. Of course, you could hear it crush the fat at the end. Another sign of the non-fully formed apex on the secondary bevel. Continuing on with the out-of-box edge, I did a rock chop test given the blade profile screamed, "Try me on some green onions." And it's rock chopped really well. With the yellow potato is where I noticed the edge might have some thickness behind the edge issue I hadn't initially seen in the choil shot. That cracking at the end of some of the cuts could be the secondary bevel needing an apex, or somewhere on the blade profile, some thickness I can't account for. Knifesmiths out there, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments section below. I took it upon myself to put a new 2-tier edge on this knife using my beloved sharpening glass 1K stone. If you want to see that video on how I sharpen a Japanese kitchen knife, I will put a link in the description below when it is live. And here's the thumbnail. The new edge was definitely two-tier, as you can see with this cherry tomato. But of course, the geometry issue can't be fixed with a new edge, and so the slight cracking continued through slicing ginger. To be honest, the issue is like the opposite of a wedging takeda, where in a takeda, the knife wedges due to that short secondary bevel and wide shoulders. Here, it seems to wedge at the end of a cut. Slicing garlic was a joy. Long, thin blade, K-tip, no issues at all. The day I filmed the knife tests, I was also making chicken stock, so for fun and to further test the edge geometry, I did some rough chopping on carrots, and celery. It then went from rough chopping to dicing a shallot for something like a beautiful, beautiful risotto. Back to the yellow potato with the now new edge. Nice thin slices for our potato pizza that night. And lastly, long, thin blade, you got to cut some prosciutto, bro. All in all, visually, this is a really good looking blade. Nice damascus pattern, nice blade profile and shape, and a beautiful handle with great attention to detail. For the majority of our food tests, the knife performed fairly well. Now, we can argue about the price of this knife all we want, but at the end of the day, you decide what this knife is worth to you, and I won't get in the way of that. However, I have two nitpicks I'd like to say are somewhat related to the price, but also, regardless of the price, I do think my nitpicks stand. Nitpick 1. The Kiri box, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, truly is one of the most attractive I've seen, especially after I added mineral oil to it since it was very dry. The artsy sleeve is nice, and I don't want to pretend like I know the costs of adding something like a blade guard to the knife in the box. So let's agree that if Oishya removed the price of printing the sleeve for the Kiri box, you can likely use the same funds to put a blade guard on the knife at minimum. I never want to hear a knife clanking in its box. I don't care how secure they might say it is. Knife edges are thin and fragile, and it doesn't take much to ding it or affect the edge put on by the smith, then influencing your first out-of-the-box knife cuts. If there's no foam insert to keep it snug, at minimum, add a blade guard please to the knife. Second nitpick. The grit at which a knife edge is finished is somewhat a personal preference that I understand. One thing is certain, many people don't know how to sharpen their own knives. A fully established knife edge to the best ability of the smith should always be on the blade. The last thing you want to do is unbox a knife you've patiently awaited in the mail just to establish a new edge before using it. Akin to getting a new car and realizing it comes with no gas, so you need to take the time to bring a jerry can full of gas before you enjoy the ride. Whatever is leading to some of the knife wedging, I can live with. But no matter the price of the knife, I want that knife to be sharp out of the box right away. Otherwise, super sexy blade. Oishya, thank you for sending it. Guys, what do you think of this knife? Let me know in the comments section below. Like this video and anything else I put out for you, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.